back on the AT. It is November 27, I think. Saturday. It's about 34 degrees. I'm walking next to the Schuylkill River. I was going to finish out this little section by parking at Furnace Creek, but I decided to park in Port Clinton instead. Mainly because there's a question about where to park, and I want to see if you can actually park where the Far Out Guide says you can. So I'll let you know. In the meantime, let's go hiking. I just met a man who is noted in the comments as the homeless man who lives under the bridge, but he has a trail name, and his trail name is Lyman. So, yeah. He's a real man with a real name and a real story. And I'm standing at the parking area, the alleged parking area that you can park at, and the comments are true. There's boulders there, so you can't park there. So I came from across Route 61 off of Broad Street. There's a place you can park, which I'm thankful I found it through All Trails, the All Trails app. So this is not a parking spot. I'll have to make a note in Gut Hook or Far Out. All right, onward. Was pretty steep, and right now I'm walking on a ridge line, debating if I want to go all the way to Furnace Creek, because I know that I can park at Furnace Creek and get on the trail there too. From where I parked to Furnace Creek is 5 to 5.5 miles. I'm not 100% sure. I need to make a waypoint from there. It's very blustery and cold, which is not that big of a deal, but I don't know. We'll see how the day goes. I may just break this up and come back. I mean, it's not like I don't like hiking on the Appalachian Trail, so it wouldn't be too heartbreaking to go like 3 miles and then turn around and go back and come back Monday when the weather's nice again. This reminds me of New Hampshire. The views are really nice. I can see Cabela's from up here, and I may just stop by there on my way back to town, my town, because stuff's gonna be on sale and I could use another warm base layer. I don't know, something fleecy or something waffly. I just met a flip-flop through hiker who is almost finished because he is getting off at Harper's Ferry. Trail name is Bones, and he had a lot of questions about Port Clinton, and I said, if you want to wait for me to come back, I offered him a ride down to Cabela's because it's pretty close by. So we'll see if I run into him again in town. And Pocahontas Creek, or Spring, is just behind me, and I'm thinking it might be a good place to turn back. I'm undecided because it's still like 2.5 miles to Furnace Creek, and the trail is kind of a roller coaster. Right, okay. I am gonna walk to the top of this little climb, which will put me at more than 3.5 miles of trail, and then I'm gonna turn back. This section, which is only like 5.5 miles from where I parked to where I stopped the other day, is a roller coaster. And the trail is slippery because of all of the leaves being on the ground. And I have slipped a couple times. I have fallen once. It's just slow going and tedious. And it's not a race, yo. The climbs are short, but they've been really steep, and the first 2 miles, which will be the last 2 miles, is also very rocky. If I didn't have to turn around and go back, I'd keep going because it's not that bad, but I have to go back. Okay, choosing this blaze as my stopping point, and I will drop a marker here, and this will be my stopping point for the next hike, which will finish out this 15-mile section. That was 3.7 miles of trail. Plus, I didn't factor in that I was parking in a completely different spot than Far Out says is a legit parking spot. It might have been a parking spot at one point, but it is not a parking spot anymore. So I came an additional half mile on the trail that I didn't know I was hiking, and I had no idea this section was going to be such a roller coaster either. And so rocky. I mean, well, you can always think that there's going to be rocks in Pennsylvania, but it's okay. I think I said it before, it's not a race. I love the trail so much, and I can savor every little bit of it. Especially around here, because I don't live that far away from the trail. All right, I'm gonna put this away, and I'll see you back at the truck in like half a second. I'm back. I know I said I'd see you at the truck, but I had thought of something to talk about, and that is the fact that there are a lot of negative comments in the Far Out guide concerning Port Clinton, saying things like they're not hiker friendly, and you know, pointing out the no trespassing signs and the no hikers allowed signs, and it's like all negative. But what are you guys doing to bless the trail towns that you walk through? Whether you're a day hiker or a section hiker or a through hiker, just because the trail passes through a town doesn't mean you're entitled to trash all over it and talk smack about it because they're not as friendly as you think they should be. This falls into that whole line of trail magic, like you're entitled to it. Nobody is entitled to anything in this life. You give as good as you get, or you get as good as you give, right? If you want to experience the blessing of kindness and trail magic and the kindness of strangers, you actually have to be respectful to people and treat people the way that you would like to be treated. I find it really, really irritating that all the comments, almost all the comments around Port Clinton are negative. Like, stop that. Stop it. Nobody's entitled you're not entitled to stuff. nobody has to do anything for anybody. And by disparaging a town because they're not as friendly as you think they should be, you're disparaging the Appalachian Trail. So stop it. Okay, now I'll see you at the truck. Right, okay, I'm back at the truck. That was 7.6 miles altogether. 3.7 miles of the Appalachian Trail. I'm gonna say this was type 2 fun. That was a really challenging section, and especially because the leaves are all down, made it really, really slippery, the dry, dead leaves. I'm glad I decided to turn back when I did. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.